Now let's look at some of the terminologies used around a function. So you know that using a function involves two steps. One is to declare or define a function, and the second thing is to invoke, run, or call the function. Invoking a function, running a function, or calling a function means the same thing. That means to run that function. Now we looked at that whenever the name of the function is put in our code and the brackets sign is put, then it runs the function. So this particular brackets are important to put to run that particular function that you have named. So over here, that invoking a function terminology description is provided. Now, every time you create or declare a function, you provide a name of the function. So some name is the name of the function. Now, whenever you write these curly braces and you write everything that you want inside the function inside the opening and the closing curly braces, anything inside these braces is actually called a code block, block of code, or simply block for short. So blocks are not just used in functions, they're actually used in different kinds of statements as well, like a if statement, for loop, and so forth. We're going to look at those concepts later on, but this is simply a block of code. In this case, this is a block of code of this particular function, right? Simple terminology. Now there's two more concepts to grab over here. Now when you create a function, the function has a bunch of code, right? Now, optionally, you can actually provide certain inputs to that function. Those inputs are actually called parameters or arguments, right? So over here, the definition says a function can optionally take parameters, also known as arguments. The function can use this information within the code it has. So this is the way you define those arguments. We're going to see how to use that, but just to see over here, so once you actually define parameter, you can actually use a is equal to param1 plus love plus param2. So this you are concatenating or merging these strings together, right? So over here, if you see passing a parameter, so if you actually want to run this function, you can actually pass those parameters to the function. So in our example, let's say we were just merging two numbers. So var a is equal to 1 plus 2, we can actually say 1 and 2 over here, just variables, or I should say first and second. Okay, and over here, we can actually combine or add these two particular numbers. So first, space, second, right? And just, I'm going to remove the alert and just simply print the result of A. So now if I save and refresh, it says nan. Nan stands for not a number. So when you ran this particular function twice, we're going to just run it once. So when this function got run, nothing was passed to it. So we can actually provide certain numbers. So I can say over here 5, comma 20. So when I run this function, I'm providing these parameters to it. So 5 becomes the first argument and 20 becomes the second argument. Over here, 5 plus 20 is 25, right? And it prints it over here. So now if I save and now I refresh, 25 is the result. So this is the way to actually define if this particular function needs certain inputs, you can pass it as parameters like such, and whatever name you provide over here can be used within a function like such. So if going in that example over here, let's say if you want to merge certain strings. So a good name for this function should be merge, right? Because it's merging these inputs. So whatever you provide, it's going to merge. So let's say if I want to merge me, comma, you, and over here I should simply say the plus sign, and over here I'm going to simply put in love, space, or loves. So now if I refresh, it says me plus loves, space, second. So me loves you. Now you can provide multiple things. So I can make a copy of this and say I love you, and I can say, I love, and then I can say coding. So now I save, and refresh, you see me loves you, I love you, and I love coding. I should just remove the S so it's I love coding shows up. So here it is. So you're basically creating a function, just define the methodology once, and you can reuse it multiple times. So you saw the documentation, it said that the cheat sheet, it said that it allows for code reusability. So when you define a function, what to do, you can actually run the function multiple times, provided multiple parameters, and the functionality will spit out whatever it needs to do. Now there's one more concept to discuss, which is returning. So I'm going to talk to you about returning values from a function in the next video.